call the meeting. Can we stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Review and approve minutes. September 11th meeting.
I move to approve.
Support.
Any corrections or anything? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Review and approve bills. Accounts payable dated September 18th for $527,126.36.
Move to
Support.
Move to approve.
You want to read them all, everybody down?
Yeah. I got a question.
Sure.
Why do we do hearing tests?
Because that's something we do for mechanics annually.
Oh. Missed it the last.
They're in a loud environment, and so.
So those are all mechanics.
Yeah.
So are we sometimes.
Mechanics,
Huh?
garage
So are we
foreman,
sometimes.
shop clerk. Everyone that's involved in the garage.
Okay. I guess the other question I would have is, it looks like we bought gravel from Gherkin Materials. Again, why didn't we just use our own
It's
gravel?
29A for seal coat
That's
stone.
the steel.
Oh, that's the steel coat stone, okay, all right, perfect, thank you.
Hi, Gary.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wait till Gary can check. We're at the bills, Gary.
Okay.
You want to check it out?
Sorry I'm late. I had a couple of phone calls at the last minute.
Well, at least your cows don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Sun's trying to come out.
Yeah.
You want that, you can have it, I get it in the mail.
Always tons of them here.
I'll bet you do. I thought that road on the front was one of ours.
Good.
We're good? It's been moved and seconded to pay the bills. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Payroll date. payroll dated September 25th, $132,411.81.
I move we approve it. Second.
Any questions? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
Joe, come on.
Treasurer's report.
Beginning cash and investment balance is $2,581,540.52. Total receipts were $284,344.56. Total in bills and payroll is $659,538.17. CD reserved for 2 trucks is $689,700.71. Ending available fund balance is $1,516,646.20. And outstanding accounts payable is $944.85.
Any questions?
I have a comment. Bob, have you had any communication from County Road Association about what impact a state shutdown might do on receiving
Actually, we talked,
transportation fund payment?
we did talk about that at the last conference that I just went to. They're not projecting it to affect it, because they're gonna try to send the MTF prior to that cutoff. But if worse comes to shove, it might get pushed back a month, and then we'd get a double payment.
Again, November.
They're not projecting, they're projecting it to get done so that it doesn't affect us, but you know as well as I do, it's up to the legislature, so.
Anything can happen to Lansing.
All right, thank you. Public comment. You got anything?
Just a second,
Oh,
I'd like to introduce our mystery guest. This is Jim Hart. And Jim contacted me, I don't know, several weeks ago. And he wanted to know about getting some overhang cut on Moscow Road so that he could get his RV, fifth wheel trailer in his driveway, because he's had some trouble with the tree branches ruining the roof on it.
ooh,
And so I told him the procedure was to contact the road commission and ask for a service request, which you did twice, correct?
yes, sir. Oh,
And then he called me back and said he hadn't seen any action, so I contacted Kevin Sanders. Kevin says, we'll send some guys out the next day, which they did, but they cut the wrong limbs. Correct?
Yeah, that's true. The sign was in front of my house in the morning, tree work I had, and I was really happy about that. In the afternoon, that sign was gone, and I hadn't heard a chainsaw, so I drove down to the north end, between Sterling Road and Anderson Road on the gravel part. Well, for about 100 yards or so off the pavement, they had cut the west side of the road and cut off some branches. That really doesn't affect me. I'm a half mile south, and I literally cannot drive down my road and pull in my drive without destroying that roof. My camper's at an RV place in Goshen right now, Affinity RV, and the bill is $9,918.38 for a new roof. It's a $10,000 roof that my insurance company paid for. I don't think they'll pay for another one.
no, I don't think so.
And I cannot, there is no way, I don't care how you swing or any way, other way, you're not gonna get down that road and in my driveway without destroying another roof. I literally, in 2 weeks it'll be done, I can't bring it home. Where am I gonna go? I've got nowhere else to take it. And my only option was to come and ask anybody here, who can I talk to? I have to have this done.
We can take care of it.
I would really appreciate it. It's especially bad right in front of my house, that it just tears it up.
What's your address?
7340, and there's a little green sign out front, so 7340. And I would so appreciate that, because I'm just at a loss for what to do.
Which way do you come in, which way do you go?
I come in from the north, and when I was having so much trouble, my brother-in-law and I were talking, he said, maybe the south would be better. Who went down to the south end and come back, just with their pickups, it's worse. Than coming in, I'm in the middle, I'm between, right in between, and the south way end is worse than the north way end.
Sounds to me like the whole thing needs to be
Whole
done.
mile.
There's a lot of it, but I mean, if we can,
We can get
we
Jim,
can address things that are.
so we can get in on
No,
it.
Yeah.
We gotta do what's, yeah, I understand that, but
Cause normally we
I'm
do all
not
that
more
kind of stuff
important
in
than
the winter
anybody
time,
else.
but.
but I have a time thing that I literally can't bring my camper home, because I can't get in there.
Okay.
I really appreciate it, whatever you can do, and
I'm assuming that's what ruined your roof.
it is, it is. And then I had to take it out, that was when I come home this spring, and then I had to take it out another time, and if it didn't tear it up more. And the branches, when they come down on it, some actually gouge into it and make tears, and other
Oh.
ones just skid across it, and then you got literally 25 or 30 little holes. They all leak, and then what happens is, when they leak, it goes down your sidewalls delaminate, and you have junk. It's just, you've ruined your camper. So, I don't need new gravel, I don't need dust control, that's all a luxury. I just need to get in my driveway. And my wife and I are quick to call this place and say, you scraped our road today and we really appreciate you. Thank you very much. We're not complainers, this is just something, I don't know what else to do.
I can see that.
Yeah, needs to be done.
Well, thank
We'll
you
get
so
taken care
much.
of.
I really appreciate it, thank you so much.
You got anything else, though?
No,
No.
I'm a happy guy, I
That's
just
it.
need trees trimmed.
Doug, you got anything?
I reported on the traffic count at Lewis Henry Park. They were very pleased to hear that number, you know. It was 219, and the question is, can we get something more current?
Yes. I'm not sure if they put one out yet, no, but we're going to. Okay.
Thank you.
You're up, Bob.
Okay, well, apparently we're gonna do traffic counts in the park. And try to trees on house garbage.
Something new.
All right, so let's start from the top here. For our Elm Road Bridge, it's taken so long to get through. Our guys have been out there tearing out the old bridge. They put the seating material for the new tube to get seated in. And the tube's supposed to be here on Monday, and from that point, just how long it takes us to get it put in and refilled and compacted. So hopefully within a week or two, that will be finally out of our hair and done. Let's see, for the Buckeye Road, west of Bird Lake Road culvert, and the Somerset Road, north of Stewart Road, we're still waiting on CEI. Today we're going to discuss the status of those designs that are coming in after the board meeting, discuss their designs and what they think needs to take place there, so we'll have a little bit of more information for your next meeting, but it's still in progress. The Albright contractors have completed repairs on the Waldron Road, north of Prattville Road structure. They plan on starting to work on the Burt Road, east of Tunnel Road. Probably any time now, but they said by the end of this week. The other two will be done later in the fall, which are Lilac Road west of Cambria and Austin Road east of Carpenter. And then they'll kind of move on. That was the first list that we gave them of the most needing repairs, and they'll move on to the rest of them after that. As far as the Monte Carlo, I guess you want to call it special assessment, they did turn in their signatures. We'll have to validate and see how that goes, but then we'll have to start working with them to see how we're gonna go about doing that special assessment. So
that'd be through the township, of course.
township doesn't want to do anything with it. So if we're gonna do it, they said the only thing they want to do is if when it gets to it, if they need to do a bond to cover it and then do the assessment through them, that's fine, but other than that, they say this isn't our project, we don't want anything to do with it.
So the majority did,
We don't have all that, we just got signatures brought in, so they've gotta be validated and, you know, that they're actually people that live on the road and, you know, all that kind of stuff, so. I guess what I'm saying is they're progressing, it'll be a slow thing, it'll be definitely at least in the next year.
before we
Yep.
do any paving down there.
Is that normally the road commission's job to validate those signatures? I
It
didn't
can
think
be
so.
either, it can be either or. And really what it comes down to is on the petition itself, the person going around circulating is supposed to sign, they sign on the bottom of that petition saying, you know, that they witnessed these people signing. For us to validate, no, not necessarily, but we will. I mean, we can just go into GIS and make sure those signatures are,
Correspond
Correct,
with the
but-
property.
normally the township does all that. And
Right.
the township's not wanting to be involved with it, which there's two options, there's a township option and the county road option. And if the township's not wanting to do it, we're the ones that have to step in and
Yeah.
administer it.
I mean, under the statute, there's actually
Yep.
2 paths you can take. That's interesting.
I never knew that.
I didn't
No,
either.
I always thought it had to
Township-
come through the township.
Yeah, I thought
Doesn't
township
have to.
clerk had to do the validating.
They normally would. And
But this
if we
township-
really wanted to for the validation part, we probably could, or the county clerk
County clerk.
could validate the actual signatures, but it's more of the engineering and the planning, you know, everything that goes along with it is gonna fall on us.
Sure.
So we will have to have some things put into the contracts where it pays for our inspecting and our
Oh, yeah.
engineering design and all that, and they'll just get lumped into it, and we'll give them, we've basically given them a figure of, I believe it was $500,000 a mile, or $500,000 for the half mile to get all that done in there, so.
Well, there's everything, you got, no, it doesn't have to be all graded, it just has to be
There's a lot of work that'll have to be done, but,
ditching and that too.
oh yeah, yep. We'll have to put in another tube and a catch basin in one part, and, but it's not,
Yeah,
it's not horrible work, I guess.
no, but
It's not,
it's all part of the project.
and so we'll have to do 2 different avenues of whether it's all contracted, and that whole bill goes to the assessment, or if we do
Certain parts.
some of the work or most of the work, then that'll get figured in there too. But I'm leaning towards the contracted because we really don't have time and the people and equipment to do that and still do what we need to do. So, just more to come on that is all I'm basically saying.
After Lake Diane, I agree.
As far as on the state trunk lines, we've got extreme milling, coming in, and they're gonna profile mill the intersection of US 12 and M49, or that's all buckled, you know, from the traffic pushing it. They're just gonna profile mill it this year, try to smooth it out. They're all gonna do some profile milling on 127, between M34 and the state line. So there's like some bumps and, you know, spots that they're gonna mill down smooth for there. That goes to the state trunk lines, and then while they're here in the area, they're gonna do that on October 8th, sorry. For all that milling for the state trunk lines. And then October 14th and 15th, they're gonna move over to 2 of our roads, which will be Lake Pleasant Road between Tamarack and Scrawfield, and then Tamarack between Lake Pleasant and M99. So those are the roads we're basically pulverizing, turning back to gravel, and we'll maintain with gravel until such time as if the township wants to do anything with them. I don't foresee that, but, But those two roads, we've already been just putting millings on them to even make them safe to drive, you know, so it's just gonna pulverize everything and we'll lay a few inches of gravel on top just to sweeten it up so it doesn't lock back up on us, and we'll go from there. But that'll take place on the October 14th and 15th. We spoke with Matt Ward from the Drain Commission on the M99 closure. The westbound signs, there wasn't any saying to take that detour route, so we talked to them. They got a hold of, I believe it was Give 'em a Break, as their sign company. They're there now, so there's actually signs pointing people in the right direction.
Forgot one. Pavement marking.
Oh, okay. We're basically done with the pavement marking until we're done with all the fog seal, which I believe we've got 3 more roads to do. Once the fog seal's done, then the pavement marking will come back in and do all our project roads that we did this year. And then that'll be complete. Let's see, they've been out spraying for brush control, and I would have to say they're probably within a week of having that done, and so that'll be this year's brush control.
Just a question about the brush control. Isn't it kind of late in the season to be spraying for brush control?
No, that's when they normally do it this year so that it mimics the brown. They cut the brown out when leaves start turning brown and falling off trees. When they spray, it does the same thing. They just don't go back in the spray.
People don't
So,
complain
yes,
as much if it kind of blends in.
Well, I can understand that, but it seemed to me like, you know, I'm not gonna go spray the weeds in my field when they're half dead.
Oh, yeah, there's guys.
because that's right now is when all the sap's going back into the root system.
Okay.
And so it's drawing
So it
everything from
draws
the
everything
leaves.
back in, but there's guys spraying now, they're spraying wheat ground.
Yep.
Where they had wheat, you know, killing it before it goes into fall.
This is normally when most road commissions anyway spray for brush control.
Okay.
We spray for weed control in the spring for the guardrail. And so they do that, you know, to keep the weeds down, you know, throughout the year in the guardrail, but then in the brush, we're doing a quarter of the county a year.
You get it before they go dormant.
Let's see, we're done on Hakes Road for that ditch and deberm, except for possibly a little bit of more hydro seeding. We're doing Nichols Road, the ditch and deberm. It's got hydro seeding, and then we got limestone put on it. There's still a couple spots that they're gonna be going back to the next few days to, like, do the ditching a little bit deeper. But it won't take much, and then that will be done. I think we've got 2 other projects, which were left over from the 2024 projects that we had hanging out there. And hopefully we can get them knocked out soon, and we'll be at least caught back up to where this year when we do our township meetings and we start talking to them, we will be able to take on a few ditch and deburr projects. The paving, and we're down to Burt Road that we still have to pave. We can't do that until we're done with the fog seal because we use the same tanker to spray tack and fog seal. So we'll do Burt Road, then Camden, Lilac, and some more spots on Territorial Road.
What about Dave?
Day road's done.
They did Dave Road.
When they do it?
I'm about to build it.
Yeah.
I think they finished last month in August,
Oh, I'll have to drive down there.
and they only paved, they didn't do the seal coat or fog.
Right.
I think we put 450 tons, I believe. And so we had to do a little bit of, on the fly, we had a cost savings that basically came through, so we were able to put more tonnage than what they asked for, but we kept it still at the money level that they had approved. And so that's why we went from 400 to 450, and it's still really costing the same.
Okay.
Let's see, Orion, the first and second rounds are complete. I think we're gonna scrape and do Fayette's third round next week. And that'll complete all the brine, other than we still got a couple of applications for the college on Mock Road that they paid for 5 throughout the year. And so I think we still got 1 or 2 left for them. And they just call us when it seems to be getting dusty or, you know, at the end of the month, and then we go and do it. So then all the brine will be done. The fog seal, we're about, like I said, we're about 85% done. I think we got 3 roads left.
Which ones do we have left, you know? Is
Oh,
Montgomery one of them?
I believe Montgomery, Camden. I'm gonna lie to you if I.
The reason I'm asking is on Sunday, I had a lady who lives on Montgomery Road at the fair that said she's had terrible problems with stones flying all over the place. Her house is close to the road and her vehicles have gotten chipped up from the flying stones. So there's a lot of stone in her ditch.
If it's still got the original chip seal, then it still needs to be swapped and fogged. So but there's 3 roads left that I know. I think we're scheduling 9,000 gallons to basically about 3,000 per road, and we should be done.
So she was hoping that would get done sooner rather than later.
Yes, because we can't do anything else with our tanker until we get it done. So it'll be done probably next week.
Well, I think her other concern was she called up here to ask about what was, timing and whatnot, and nobody got back with her. That was the other issue.
Yeah, that happened like shortly after it had been, the stone had been applied, which it sounded to me like several weeks ago.
Yeah, the original chip seal could have been a little while ago.
And
We're gonna do all the chip seal, and then we're gonna do all the fog.
somebody here dropped the ball and never called back and
Okay, I guess I don't
talked with her either.
recognize that one, but,
I don't know what you talked to.
okay. That's all on that. Myself and Jeff Maxon, our safety, went through the McChrystus annual business meeting and their conference that they have. So this is just basically the handout that they give that's got all their information on, the financials, and if you're interested, I'll leave this here for anybody to look at for your reading pleasure, but let's see. So we've got another issue coming up on Ashtabada. So basically what it comes down to, if you ask me, it's a neighborhood squabble again, but it has to do with encroachments in the right of way. So basically what it comes down to is we had an individual come and ask for a permit to put an asphalt curb down the side of his parking area along the side of Ashtabada, and then curve it over to where it basically takes all the water and dumps it out onto the road. And I'm like, no, we won't approve that. And he's like, well, the neighbor to the south has a log that he's put out there. And again, I think he put that log out there to stop everything from washing into his driveway. And so he's complained for quite a while over this log. And it finally, I guess, came to a head a few weeks ago. I went out and talked with the guy that has the log again. He's actually, in my opinion, he's had enough. He's moving. He's for sale. He said he's just closing on his property. And so I asked him, wait, it's a 33-foot platted road that goes through there. And so I asked him, I said, could you please go from center line? I told him 15 feet, which almost puts him to the back of half of the right of way. Can you cut that log off there? And then the other guy will, I think, be fine with that. And so he said, yep. He said, I sure can. And so he said, but what about his stuff that he's got over there? And he's like, is that going to cause you an issue? I said, yeah, probably will. But if you make a complaint or you address it with us, we'll deal with it. So he went out, cut the log, and he'd come back and says, you know what? I'll be the bigger man. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to cut my log and I'm out. Apparently, a few days later, that same neighbor filed 2 more lawsuits with him over whatever else they're arguing about. And he came back in and says, I'm no longer the bigger man. I want his encroachment removed, just like I had to remove mine. So, this is the encroachment, which is a concrete wall that it goes to about that height and then runs back to his place. And so 15 foot from center line is gonna put it about that fence. I took this same thing to the McChrystal conference that I just went to and talked with Gail from McChrystal. And says, what is your thoughts? Cause that was one of the things we were talking about was encroachments and you know, things impeding the road. And she said, once it's brought to your attention, you really should address it. And so we can and would go 15 feet back, mark the wall, and ask the guy to remove the wall. Now, will that cause him to say, well, what about that guy? What about that guy?
Right.
Yes. So that's the ugly cycle that we could get into.
Who are the two guys you're dealing with?
Well, the guy that had the law would be a Brian Reynolds. And I don't remember this guy's name.
I'm surprised the truck hasn't hit that. with all the
Well,
snow.
and that's the kind of the thing, our truck blades come down through there, and if you fall a little bit, if I were to hit that, it could damage our truck, it definitely probably damage that, but it's one of the things that's been there a while. So that's gonna be one of the complaints that we get from him, saying, well, it's been there all this time, why are you now? And to me, it was brought to my attention, now there's things all over this county.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess I'm asking, will I have the backing to go down this rabbit hole and continue, cause I know it's gonna be like, well, what about yours, what about yours, what
It's
about
gonna
yours?
be a
I know there's
huge mess.
a garage that's actually in that easement
That's
farther
been
down the
there for
road.
years and years and years.
Now, for a garage, something like that, that would have to have something special drawn up for it. But for regular encroachments like a fence or this particular, we could address them. But I guess I'm asking,
Now-
what is your pleasure?
If I understand this right, one's filed suit
Well,
against the
there's,
other?
yes, well, apparently there's been multiple lawsuits filed from the one neighbor and the one that had the lot. Now, I didn't get too much into who's saying who's right or wrong here, all I know is what I've been told, and I did see the two lawsuits that
And the two lawsuits have nothing to do with road work.
had nothing to do with us, no.
Have they went to
All of, none of them have anything to do with the road stuff. It's all personal,
It's just I don't like you and
yeah.
Have they went to
It
court?
might be property lines and I have no idea, but it's not road
They have?
issues.
Have they went to court?
I couldn't tell you, I try not to.
We had the same thing with the L line,
Mhm.
same exact thing. It's just,
I mean, we addressed it with the,
Harold and
yep, down on the other end of Ashwaubenon, so. I don't have a problem doing a letter and asking, you know, giving him 30 days to remove that wall, and they'd have to reshape some of that dirt, but. I don't necessarily wanna go through that
yeah.
if we're not gonna have the backing to continue, or,
we just gotta realize it's gonna be never ending after that one.
Yeah. I think their personalities are the problem. It's not.
it very well could be, but like I said, I tried to stay out of the personal aspect of it, and I'm just dealing with the road encroachments, but.
But how do you not address it once it's been brought to your attention?
Right,
Right.
you gotta address it.
And it is an encroachment on the right of way.
Yes, so,
And it's not even an applied right away, it's a platted
Yeah,
subdivision, but,
total of 33.
Those are all supervisor plats, because that's in Cambria Township, I believe, isn't it?
yes.
So they're all supervisor plats, they're not an actual plat.
No,
Oh, it's a plat,
Yeah, the supervisor of the township measures the plat. That was explained to me at the Cambria board meeting by Joel Flowers. I'd never heard of that before, being on board of review and everything, I thought, everything was done.
Okay, from a practical standpoint, for the road commission's sake, it sounds to me like this wall, if the end of it, maybe 2 or 3 feet was removed, it would least from our standpoint, solve the problem.
Well, I think if
I
you go
wouldn't
down
say,
the
yeah.
path, you go down the path and take care of it.
Yeah.
And don't give any, I don't think you can say, oh, only a couple of feet are fine. I think you go back to the right of way. You're already given 3 feet of right of way because he's only going 15 feet
Yeah, so-
instead of half of 33.
So that's a foot and a half on each side is what I figured, and that way if
Yes.
something's off just a little bit,
Right.
we got a little leeway there. I didn't make it
Right.
go back to,
Yeah.
and the original guy did, he was fine, and he did that to the 15 foot. And so now, we should probably give this guy a letter, ask him to remove it within 30 days. Back to the 15 foot. And let it go from there, I guess. I don't-
There was a problem on 127. I think south of Hudson, Ron Oates is who told me about it. And the guy had stacked 5 feet blocks right on the shoulder. Cause he didn't want, I don't know what he was up to, but that was handled by Chris Kendrick, MDOT.
Well, Chris sent him a letter, gave us the letter. We also went back out there and marked to make sure he would move him back. And it was a little bit of a battle, but he did finally move him back out of the MDOT right away. Yeah, that was an MDOT.
No, we had a situation on M99 3 or 4 years ago. This was before Bob got involved, where they're north of Skewes Road on the west side. The guy bought that property and started throwing up those big mounds of dirt.
Right.
He filled the ditch in
Oh, boy.
on M99.
I was here for that. That was right when I first,
Okay.
Kevin was dealing with them,
Okay.
but yes, and they
I
got
thought maybe
that
it was
moved back.
before their time.
Right there at the beginning. So, yes, there are other issues like that. It's easier on the state trunk lines, because they own the right of way.
Yeah.
That's, you know, ours, a platted one's a little easier, but our implied right of ways, there's a lot of law, legal, even the courts can't tell you exactly what the right of way is, or whether it was actually done as a proper road back in the 30s when they were transferred from the townships. So that's how far back some of the courts are getting, and that's been a big topic for CRA and McCrissup and everything here lately.
I'm thinking of another situation that occurred probably 10, 15 years ago at the corner of Prattville and Pittsburgh Road, south of where Bob used to live. The guy that owns what used to be an old gas station there, he started putting a fence right at the intersection, you know, so that if you were headed south, you were gonna have to be out into the road in order to see. I called the road commission, I said, this guy's building a fence right in the road right away. I said, this is gonna obstruct the view, cause a dangerous situation.
There's a lot of those, and
Yeah.
to include Amish fences.
Yeah.
That are in the right of way.
Yeah, but that's where they pasture their horse and their cow.
That's roadside mowing.
Yeah, they keep-
So anyway, I guess I'm asking, would you like me to proceed?
I would,
I would recommend it, but
my vote would be to proceed.
I would say yes.
Yes. I'm not overjoyed by the process.
I'm not either, because I know what it's gonna cost.
But from a legal standpoint, you know, it's,
All right.
here's a case where they should have come and asked before they ever built the wall.
Well, and that was like probably decades ago.
And don't we share a liability for that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Not only the property owner for having it there, but we
Yeah.
for letting it be there.
So, question I have is mailboxes. Those are in those road right of ways. Some people,
Mailboxes are exempt as long as they meet the standards that are put up.
Yeah, be able
So-
to break away.
so that I guess is my question, because some people build quite substantial mailboxes these days. And so those aren't allowed?
No.
Not normal.
6-inch oil casing filled with concrete isn't allowed.
well, I'm
So-
thinking about, you know, a
Some places will allow
A
in
brick. structure.
a low-speed subdivision. Some places will allow those, and they're usually in your policy.
Okay.
I don't believe we have that in our policy, but like if it's a 25-mile-an-hour subdivision, sometimes they'll allow them. But if it's anything over 25, I would say get away from that. But yes, there's a lot of mailboxes out there that are built with railroad ties and well casings and bricks and you name it. And it really should be a 4x4 equivalent that can break away easily, but again, you start going down that rabbit hole, that's another one. Okay, so with that being said, unless you have any questions for me, that's all I've got.
Can I get a print off of that?
That's what?
No, the manager's report.
Sure.
That way I don't have to write it all back.
So basically what I normally, just so you guys know, I think I told you before, I get one from Heather for kind of the engineering projects. I get one for Kevin from all the day-to-day maintenance stuff.
Okay.
And then
Well, if you would forward those to us, that'd be great,
Yeah.
especially when we go to our township meetings, we
Yeah.
can go look back at those.
That's what I'm thinking about.
I can do that.
I got one township clerk that, as I'm talking, she's right.
And you can pass these on to them too, you know, so.
You
That's
got,
a good idea.
I think you got one sent to.
I don't think we can give it to the county.
We don't want them to know everything we're doing out here.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Great, I appreciate that, thank you.
So I have a question. On Monday, after I'd had this conversation with this lady on Montgomery Road on the loose stone issue, I tried calling here 2 or 3 different times. And the voicemail would say, you know, you can push a number anytime you want to and get connected. Repeatedly attempted to do that, could never get through.
What numbers were you
Did we have
pushing?
an issue?
I was,
Well, people are on the phone, yeah, you're not gonna can't get somebody. You'll go right to their voicemail.
What time of day was it?
part of the time it wouldn't even go to voicemail. It just kept on.
Kept ringing?
Well, it didn't ring, I kept on, this message kept playing.
Oh,
Because you probably gotta get to a certain point of the message and then push a button. I know when I call
Well
places.
then what the conversation, what the message said was a lie.
I think it normally can.
Because it says you can push a number at any time during this conversation and get connected with the line that you wanna get connected to. And I would push it and nothing would happen, the message would keep on playing. And finally, I got disgusted and gave up.
That's call me on my cell phone.
What time of day was
And
it?
that way we can at least look into it.
But Monday, weren't you up north?
Oh, yeah.
What time of day was it?
But call him, he may have phone numbers to call others to work around the
I don't
system. Now,
mind.
Monday wasn't a holiday because it's.
No, we
First
were
Day.
here.
Once upon a time, it used to be, so that's why okay.
Yes, we were here.
I got it.
I just know sometimes, like, you try to get to, I know like so many extensions of those parents' phones, but sometimes she's stuck with one person for 20 minutes, half hour at a time.
But
And
it
then
should get to a voicemail.
it
if it's
should,
working right.
yes,
We have issues with it from time to time, and
but I can touch base.
that way if we know, we can at least look into it and.
Yeah, that's why I'm raising the question. I didn't know if anybody else had a problem or.
That I know, we haven't been told.
While we're on there, our music sucks.
what is it, like funeral music?
Yep.
I can start singing, but I think you'd rather have the music.
I think I'd probably hang up on that.
Okay, is there any old business?
No? Not that I can think of. I know a lot of people that wanna give us the business.
If not, new business, discuss township meeting dates for January. Cause our biggest complaint is, getting them out there on time, those letters.
a year ago, we had talked about doing it in December. Then we ended up doing it the very first part of January. Now, from my perspective, I thought early January worked good.
Me
And I don't know how you guys felt about that, or how the township
As
felt
long as the
about that.
townships can get us those contracts
In a time.
reasonably quick,
Yeah.
that helps, but when they draw them out, I mean, I don't know if we wanna look at
It's gonna be
something.
February before you get them back,
Yeah,
for
I don't know
sure.
if you wanna look at,
At the
you know,
earliest.
first come, first served when it comes to doing the contracts. And maybe that will get them to get us the contract.
Yeah, I think that part of the reason
Why don't we just put a deadline on
that some of them drag their
Tried.
feet on the contracts is that they don't, their budget doesn't have to be adopted until April the first. And so some of them like to just drag their feet
They don't
Yeah.
approve them until then, until the budget is done.
until they do their budgeting in
Right.
late March. So from that standpoint, if we held the meetings in early December, I don't know that that's gonna improve the situation.
Right.
So I agree, you put a deadline on, and then you tell them first come, first serve. Because that way, it will put on them the impetus to make a decision before they finish, or get their budgets finished sooner, or they're just gonna be further down the line on, and again, it's always gonna be their special projects, I mean, their road grinding, and that's still gonna be done
Yeah.
timely.
Yeah.
As timely as everybody else's, and that won't make a difference, but it's gonna be any special projects or additional projects. And if you tell them first come, first serve, then that way we can plan for what comes through. And if they want to get higher on the list, they'll get things done more quickly. If that helps us out.
I'm okay with trying to do that. We've tweaked it every year a little bit,
Right.
so
Yep.
another tweak, I mean, it may work, it may not, but we can try it.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So were you guys thinking about having them later than January, the
No.
first part of
No.
January? No, okay.
Like Gary said, at one time, we talked about trying to do it a little earlier, but like you said, I don't know if that's gonna get us a whole lot.
No.
Maybe one or two of those townships that have a decent budget, they know what they can afford,
Right.
they might be able to get something in
The
early,
biggest
but
is notice, like, everybody would like to get the notice next month. So they can pick a date.
Mhm.
To get on their calendar.
Yes.
and so really, I take it, that's what this was for, is to discuss and or maybe even pick what
I
dates
thought
work.
that's what we'd do, pick the dates if we can.
Well, okay, so January the 5th is a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We went the 5th, 6th, 7th. The 8th is actually the second Thursday, which would be our regular meeting. I guess if we had to run over into the afternoon with some of the township meetings, that would.
Well, time out here. Can we change our meetings for that month? Because the 1st of January is on a Thursday. So can we go the 15th and the 29th instead of the 8th and the 22nd? I mean, that would, especially if we're gonna do those road committee meetings, if we're gonna do the township meetings that first week. I mean, that's what I would put forth.
Well,
Although we don't have the second December meeting, but I still don't think that would be a problem, would it, to go to the 15th instead of the 8th?
what about paying bills? Does that create a problem
We
or
still
not?
pay them, you guys just,
Right.
they still get paid. Trying to think, so usually the first board meeting, we approve the meeting dates and officers. I don't think it's a problem at all. It's just there'll be that gap of,
Can you
What you
approve
said.
the meeting dates for 26 on the 18th of December meeting?
good.
That way you know.
Right.
And you can make that change.
Well, sorry, yes, we do that in December,
Right
so
on.
we
Yes,
don't, I'm
yes,
just trying
yes.
to think of all the year-end stuff.
Right.
But I don't think it'll be a problem for me.
Right. I guess that's what I would propose, is we go the 15th and the 29th.
Of January?
Yeah.
We'll be here.
For the meetings.
The road commission meetings.
Yeah.
I won't be here the 29th, so you guys.
No. The road,
Yes, that's what she's talking, is the road commission meeting.
the road commission meetings, yeah, the 15th and the 29th.
Yeah, I can make the 15th, but I won't be here the 29th.
I actually won't be here the 29th either. I won't be, I'm going on vacation the 27th of January, no, I'm going, well, I'm actually leaving on the 23rd.
I think
And
I'm
won't be
leaving
back until
26.
February 17th,
So we could
just
have
so you know.
the week of the 15th and the next
I mean,
week,
you guys will
so they'll just
be
hit
here.
twice at the same place.
Alright,
As long as we got three.
I'm gonna miss two meetings, I'm gonna miss the 29th and the 19th. Excuse me, the 12th, 29th and the 12th,
Of February.
yeah.
Okay.
So would it hurt to have like the 15th and 22nd for January, just 2 weeks back to back, or does it even,
It doesn't bother, it doesn't matter to me. We can do it
Doesn't even
if
need
it works for,
I can be here anytime, so maybe.
They're always open.
As far as I know, I'm gonna be here.
Me too.
so
Oh.
15th and 22nd.
I can't get Mark to come and feed my cattle, so I gotta come be here.
I feed with you,
Well, and we
but I
can
won't be
discuss
here.
that a little more if you guys wanna look into things.
We could, yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We can always move the meeting. Let's figure out the days for the township meetings.
Yes,
Well, I think that first week of January,
I
to me,
agree.
that's
Get it
the
over
best
with.
time to do it, yeah.
Get it over with.
5th, 6th, 7th?
Yeah.
Just to throw that out there.
That typically is enough time, isn't it?
Usually takes 3 days to get everybody
Yeah.
over here.
And a lot of them,
it pushes, but
yeah, a lot of them complain that we don't go far enough into the evening, but that's up to you guys.
Isn't the last one at 7 and you're here till 8 already?
Well, I
Where
think,
they wanna go.
I don't know.
I think in the past, you would schedule at 8 o'clock, was typical. I think the last couple of years, I know I've pushed not to have one past 7 o'clock. However, as needed, we have put some 8 o'clocks in there. But a lot of that is because the townships, they all have day jobs, which I understand that, and they don't wanna take time off from the day jobs to come in and do the meeting earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what happens.
so
So,
you got it to do 3 days, you gotta do 6 townships a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna go up to 4 days.
To get all 18, then you'd have to.
We did it last time, didn't we?
What, 4 days?
3 days.
3 days? Yeah, we did, and we
I think
can,
we had
it's
to
just,
reschedule
full.
some, I think we had 2 that was
yeah.
a different time.
so I prefer to start at 2, cause there'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 o'clock's your latest one then.
I agree.
I
First one
I
at
would
2.
prefer
And I
to
think
start
that's
at
what
2.
we did last year,
We
we
tried
put
that,
2, and then we
yes.
put,
Yes,
had that
yes.
second
Yes.
option just in case, but.
Yeah, we may have had one township, 2 at the most, that wanted to do an 8 o'clock meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we could be flexible and do
Yes.
that if need be, but I think we need to put out a schedule, because the last
Yes.
one is 7.
That's it, we would prefer from 2 to
Yeah.
7,
Right.
and we would prefer no gaps, if possible.
And, you know, it's first come, first served, really.
Yes,
And are
it
you
is.
talking 5th, 6th, 7th? Then
Yeah.
Is what you're, okay.
Yeah, and then I think if we have to schedule something on that Thursday and or 8 o'clock, maybe that's the way we do it.
Use that.
Not have it as a choice for them.
Use
We
that
can
as
see
a
how, where it gets
backup.
us when we get there, and
Right.
then if you guys wanna move it to the extra date, or for some reason it works better to stay the other hour.
Right.
we can
As long as
see.
there's no gaps, we gotta,
Yeah,
you know, you have an hour gap, then that really messes things up.
So is that what we wanna do for a letter to send out?
5th, 6th, and 7th,
Mhm.
slots 2, 3, 4, 5.
6 and
6
7.
and 7.
And I'm sure that if you got a township that's unhappy with that, they're gonna call you and
They
let you know.
communicate it, they communicate it.
They do.
No, they won't.
I mean, that gives them a good variety,
Yeah,
cause there's a lot of townships, most of them are retired,
yeah.
like Woodbridge.
Well, there's some that are still working too, like,
Yeah,
Camden Township, the gal that gave us
The clerk
yeah, she gave us the
works for the health department.
presentation on the Amish safety thing.
most of them Hillsdale Township work.
Can't remember her name.
Chris Dewey.
Chris.
There.
Oh.
And Gary knows her, I know more than the ones up my way.
So, we under control now? All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Doug, you got anything? No?
No. Yes. Just a question on Ash DeWitt. If you send in a letter, does it make sense to send a letter to all the violations? It's just a question.
Get it all started.
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't think
I
so,
don't do that.
because as we're made aware of them, we're dealing
Well,
with them.
And my thought is, you're aware of them, because the guys plow them. That's awareness.
I don't know if that's a
Legal awareness.
battle that we gotta take on.
No, I understand, it's just a question that came up, you know, as I'm sitting here, I just wondered, send them all a letter.
Well,
See, that wouldn't only be Ashtabrook Drive.
Yeah, then you'd
It'd
be
go
like
all the way
every,
up through all those.
Would be all the
every
roads.
county road there is.
anyone that you come across, you'd have to send a letter, but.
We had an issue with a lady that put a.
And I'm not sitting in your chairs, I don't want it, it's just a question I came up with. Thank you all, that's all.
Well, the comment I would have is how do we make the whole county more aware of what they can and can't put in the road right of way?
And we could put stuff
I
out
mean,
like
that,
that, you
to
know.
me, I would like to get more of that information out
We
there
can
so
do
that,
that at our township meetings though, too.
well,
Not everybody goes to town.
correct,
There's
but,
enough of them that go, and that's what I was thinking on Doug's comment, is you send a letter to this guy, and he's gonna go over to his neighbor and say, look, by God, what the county road commission said I gotta do, I gotta move that concrete out there. Well, then that guy goes down to the next one and says, you know what the county road commission's doing?
well, and
It works.
It works, but I would like to maybe discuss a plan to communicate road right-of-ways and proper utilization of those for people who live.
And one of the issues that I see in the country, I see a lot of it down in my corner of the county, is that there are no road ditches on many gravel roads.
No, cause the farmers are
They're
farming,
they're plowing
yeah.
and farming right to the edge of the road as close as they can.
Then we're getting into another one there.
Mhm.
It never ends.
I'm glad they have a question for you guys.
Right.
There you go.
We are not gonna accept any more questions this year.
From me, you're okay.
We are not short on headaches.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna go out looking for problems, cause enough problems come find me.
That's right.
So,
I think we should do it on like a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, that would be my
As they
thought,
come.
too.
But I am going to address it at my township meeting,
I think that's a good idea.
that, you know, people need to understand, you can't build your house in the ditch
or fences, or
or
rocks,
fences,
or
or farm right to
mailboxes
the,
that are.
Well, we had the one, remember, Gary, where the garage was in the road right away and we had to give them an easement. Which they didn't know, and even the township didn't know, or the,
well, there
And I
was,
think you're gonna find a few of those on Ashtabula
you
alone.
will,
Well,
you will.
Lake Leanne, Somerset Township, we had one there that the guy, well, that was the zoning
Yeah,
administrator.
zoning administrator,
Got,
he didn't know it either.
no, well, he was a new zoning administrator, and it slipped by the previous zoning administrator.
So I guess question, and that it would be planting trees and landscaping in the road right away. And again, these come up in these lake properties where, you know, everything's tight. And what's the legality, and then what's the
We
practice?
can work on putting that out though, cause Terry also has a bunch of stuff on that too, so. And it's just, and they send